All right, everybody, we're getting ready here. We're going to do our post notification. Wait for everyone to get on. I know some of you are just getting on the road because I've been getting some reports as we speak. So we will be going live. I'm going to adjust my microphone here. Make sure it's at a good level. And make sure my watch is turned off because that is the problem we were having in the past. There goes the post notifications, letting everybody know that we're live. Hello everyone, my name is Angel. I'm the host of Have Faith, Let It Begin. We're going to be going live in just a few minutes. Just want to give you a little heads up for everybody that's going to be listening today. Today's episode is going to be called Doctor Visits. There's going to be a personal testimony that I'm going to share with each and every one of you that I've never shared with a lot of people, only my mother and my wife actually. But I think that it's time that I share this with the world. So be ready. It's going to be a little powerful message, and it's important for everyone to hear, especially with the day and age that we live in. So with that in mind, we're going to get ready. We just want to remind each and every one of you that you can subscribe to our channel. We need to get our subscriptions definitely up. It is a free platform, so when I say subscribe, there is no payment. There is no required payment or donation or anything like that. We just want to get our subscriptions up so that we can continue to get notified about our process here at Have Faith, Let It Begin. So if you get a chance, go to Google. If you're not a person that has an Android or an iPhone, go to Google, type in Have Faith, Let It Begin, and you'll find us. It'll give you the last 3 episodes. You can subscribe from there. And of course, all different platforms that are available, we have them available too. So for example, we are available on the following platforms. We're available on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio. And you can go actually to our website it's going to be havefaithletitbegin.com, and you can subscribe that way. They'll take you right to where you need to go. You can subscribe to our email, or you can email us directly at angel. So I'm sorry, I messed that up. It's angel@havefaithletitbegin.com. Still learning. All right, folks, with that in mind, let's get started with another rendition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. When I was a child, my mom always told me, Angel, when you were born, all the angels came from heaven. Do you know why? Because you're special. On June 16, 2018, I launched my show, Have Faith, Let It Begin. I always wanted to change the world, share my personal testimony, share real-life stories and motivational topics to set out to go out and change the world. Join me each and every week, Monday through Friday at 6 a.m., because this is a show all about faith. My name is Angel, and welcome to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin. Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Amari. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin on this Wednesday, May 22nd, 2019. I'm taking a different way to work today. Have you ever done that? That's right. Every once in a while, I like to change it up and go a different way. A little back road action for myself here on River Road. If some of you don't know what that is, that's in the Northeast, and that's where we are this morning traveling, and hopefully less feedback, less traffic on our microphone. Folks, let's get started to today's episode. I started to go on the air this morning at around 7:27, just to reiterate the fact that today's episode is a little bit powerful. It's a little strong message, so I just want you to be aware of that. In case you have any children listening, it is a powerful message, and it is good to be there with your kids. It is PG as always, but it is a powerful message. So, you saw the title. If you haven't, it's called Doctor Visits. Let's get started. Doctor visits are so important to all of us. It's good to get a physical. It's good to always be checked up. Make sure you know where your health is, and it's a great time for you to sit down with your doctor and initially just interact with one another and make sure that he or she is keeping you on the right track of good health and making sure that you stay consistent with your doctor visits. Now, I am not going to get into politics, but I'm well aware that a lot of people do not have insurance, and some that do have a deductible that is so high that it makes it literally impossible to go and pay for your doctor visits because maybe at this time you're financially not able. And for that I apologize, and I wish that I could be in a better place to share any way possible to get you to see a doctor. But I will say this, and no one is going to take away the opportunity for you to go to the doctor's office or to emergency room. You will be taken care of regardless. You may get a bill, but you will be given that opportunity to be seen. With that being said, doctor visits have always been very, very frequent for me. Growing up, I've always been somewhat of a sick child. Always had something going on, whether I broke a finger or smashed my toe on a coffee table, having a gland removed from my back of my ear, to having a lamp break apart and smash into pieces and scratch my nose and give me stitches, for me running into a door after chasing after my brothers, receiving 15 stitches on the side of my arm, to having back surgery, lipoma surgery, having all different types of surgery. I can keep going, by the way. That's how many I've had. But one of the things that I want to get in basically talk about is a memory that will never fade away. It is something that I feel very hurtful about, and it's something that was very, very detriment to my childhood. Growing up, there's no secret, I was an overweight child. I was what they call a chunky kid. I got picked on, not in school, but mainly at home by my brothers. Not my sister, she was always pretty much good to me. But getting picked on by your brothers or getting picked on by siblings was never very good for my insecurity that I already had. I was always a happy kid. Never thought to say that bullying back then was a factor in the way I acted at home. You would never know I was bullied because even at that young age, I felt as if I was on top of the world. One of the things that was very fun for me was growing up and having the ability to like world wrestling entertainment. And I used to love watching sports. I used to love watching the WWE. And growing up and listening to people like Hulk Hogan telling you to, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and train every day, inspired me to be a better person, and also allowed me the ability to believe in myself. As of course we all grow up, we find out that wrestling may be predetermined, but it was still great entertainment and still is for me to this day. So what does this have to do with a doctor visit? Well, when I was young, I would go for a physical before school, and there was a particular doctor that we would see in this pediatric location, and in this pediatric department, it just, you could actually get different doctors. But it seemed to me that every time we had gone, we always found ourselves with the same doctor. And in the beginning, it was fine. But as I started to get a little bit older and I, put on some weight, the doctor began to make comments that I feel was very inappropriate. Also questioning the way my mom would feed me and telling her that it was an embarrassment to see me at this weight. Now, mind you, I'm not going to disagree with the fact that maybe I could have eaten a little bit better, and maybe, of course, I could have been exercising a little bit better. But he used to say when he would walk in, "Oh wow, looks like since the last time I seen you, you must be eating now 5 pieces of French toast for breakfast instead of 2." It was comments like that was very hurtful. It was extremely sad to go through that. It got to the point where I just didn't want to go to the doctors. After a couple of nasty visits, my mom decided to speak up and tell him that she thought he was very rude. And he said that the truth does hurt. My mom then made sure that from that moment on, any time that we would go to visit the doctors at the pediatrics location, that we were never to be seen by this particular doctor. So it became a little difficult because he was the primary type of doctor there. So he was always there. So if there were times where we had to go there, it was as if we had no other choice. So there were a couple other times when we went for other issues that we could not wait to be seen by a different doctor. Instead, we had to be seen by this particular doctor, which made things a lot more difficult. And it never failed with him. Every chance he got, every chance he had, he always made sure that he would disrespect me and call me out and make fun of me. At one point during the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of guys would grow their hair long. And I went through that phase where I wanted to do the ponytail and I wanted to grow my hair out a little bit. And because I had been overweight, the doctor felt that it was time to tell me that people are going to mistake me for a girl because my body parts were getting a little bit bigger, and it looked and appeared as if I had female parts. That made me really cry. It hurt my feelings. It broke me down extremely. And I always remember saying to myself, if only I was bigger, if only I was taller, if only I was older, just maybe I could push this guy. Well, fast forward many years later, as many of you may not know, when you're in a pediatrics location, you can actually be seen up until you graduate high school. Well, it was my last physical, and at this point now, I had slimmed down pretty well. Not too big, but not too small, but definitely a good size for a young gentleman. And I went there to see the doctor for the last time, and of course my restriction was always there for this doctor. But on this particular day, on my last day for the pediatrics, the doctor was the only one on duty. And I had to be seen because it would be the last time I could be seen there. So the doctor came in, and he didn't recognize me. He did the physical. He never made fun of me. And you can tell toward the very end, as he started to actually look at the chart, I think he realized who he was dealing with. And it was almost as if he wanted to take credit for me slimming down. And just before he congratulated me on being with him for many years, I was at that point thinking, should I say something? But I held my tongue. And as I walked out, there was a thing that they used to do when you basically graduated from pediatrics. They would applaud as you're walking out. As everybody was walking out, they were applauding, and he was there applauding with them. And some of them started to pat him on the back, saying, "You did good, doctor, you did good." And that didn't sit well with me. So at that moment, I turned around. I faced the entire pediatric department and the heads of management, looked him dead in the eye, and said, "You don't remember me, but I was the young child for many years who you made fun of. You told me that I looked like a girl. You told me that I ate too much. You made my mother cry, and you changed the way I looked at doctors forever. You're a mean individual. You are the Scrooge of doctors, and may God be with you. And if you have any children, I hope you don't do to them what you've done to me. You're a horrible person." As I walked out, I felt better. I felt like I had made the right decision. The powerful part about all this is I'm 41 years old, and just recently, as I was working now in the medical field, I caught wind and found out that that doctor has been sent to prison. The doctor is no longer a doctor because he was sent to prison for child pornography. Doctor visits don't always go as it seems. Doctor visits can have different outcomes. But one thing is for sure, if you're the parent, always stick up for your children. My mother did. As we grow up in this age, in this new era, we must remember this. Bullying does happen. And it happens with all of us. And it happens with people that claim they are a doctor. They have titles. But it does not excuse them from being disrespectful and being just plain out rude. I'm grateful that throughout my years, that God has always played a huge instrument in my life and allowed me to overcome some of my insecurities. But it is hard to say that the one person that I was supposed to trust, it, the one person who had my best interest at heart, was also my arch nemesis. That doesn't mean that all doctors are the same way. It just means that we have to be aware of our surroundings. We have to be conscious of the people that take care of us. And we must remember to never lose our temper, to never lose focus on the task at hand. Remember to trust in each and every one of us, to believe in one of us, and remember to never forget that God is always on our side. I hope you enjoyed today's message. I know it was a powerful one, and it was hard for me to share it because I've never shared this with the world. For Have Faith, Let It Begin. My name is Angel. There will not be a prayer edition for today. Instead, a moment of silence for those right now who are suffering with different types of problems, being bullied. Allow this to be a moment of silence so that all of you can say your prayers and keep doing it with God's hands. God bless you and have a good day. Thank you for listening to another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin. That's right, Ariel. We're done with another show. And it's always great to have this show with you, my love. You know, we're going to encourage each and every person to listen to our show every single weekday. That's right, you and I are going to help change the world. Do you think that you can do that for me? Huh? Yeah, you know you can. She does. We want to let you know, and yes, we encourage you to listen to our show each and every weekday, and it's going to be live at 7:30. Make sure you're subscribed to our show. Make sure you get ready, fasten those seatbelts, because Ariel and I and my family are going to bring you a new topic, a new story each and every day, right? Isn't that right, Ariel? Yeah. And she's smiling at me. Guys, enjoy your day.